Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about a dinosaur from the Lost World, specifically the bull T-Rex of Isla Sorna from that movie. Now over the years, this has become something of a fan favorite dinosaur in the Jurassic Park film series, and I think one of the main reasons for that happening is the iconography of the movie combined with the personality of what is arguably one of the franchise's coolest creature designs. And that design was of course this new male Tyrannosaur that sported a few prominent facial scars on its muzzle. But just how did the animal get these scars in the movie, and is there anything in the franchise or wider source material that could tell us where they came from? Well, today I wanted to take a look at that question and have fun with the answers, because this is undoubtedly my favorite animal in the whole film series. So let's go ahead, jump right into it, and see what we can find. Now before I go any further, I want to mention to you guys that today's video is sponsored by CuriosityStream, the subscription streaming service that offers thousands of documentaries, exclusive originals, and non-fiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers. CuriosityStream is the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, and the Disney Plus for the scientists in us all. And at under $20 a year, it's also extremely affordable, coming out to about $1.67 per month. Now the reason I think CuriosityStream is a great sponsor for this video is the fact that they have a wide selection of dinosaur documentaries that are really good on their platform, especially this one called Raising Dinosaurs from the Dead, which is obviously congruent with a lot of what we talk about from Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. This is the entertainment brand for people that want to know more, and it's available on Roku, Android, Xbox, iOS, Chromecast, Amazon, Apple, and several smart TVs as well. New shows come out every week, so whether you want to learn about science, sports, music, technology, nature, or history, you can find all of it on CuriosityStream. Just go to curiositystream.com/Clayton for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series. And just for you guys, use the promo code Clayton and you'll save 25% off your purchase, which comes out to only $14.99 a year. So click the link below or go to curiositystream.com/Clayton and save 25% right now. And at that rate, it's like only $1.29 per month. So once again, thank you to CuriosityStream for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to Jurassic Park. So in The Lost World, Sarah Harding and Nick Van Owen bring the infant T-Rex into Eddie Carr's trailer in order to mend its broken leg. And when that happens, of course, the mother and father of the animal come looking for it. This scene is the first instance in which we get to see the male Tyrannosaur's scars, and it's also the first time we get to see Sarah Harding's theory about nurturing behavior represented in the species. Not only did the female animal come, but its mate as well, meaning these creatures, at least in the film series, opted not to abandon their partners and leave their young once mating had ended. But when it comes to the mating of animals as big and ferocious as Tyrannosaurus Rex's, I'm sure you can imagine competition for a mate can get pretty violent pretty quickly. And with all canon sources pointing out records that indicates InGen cloned at least 7 of these animals for Jurassic Park, the 1993 animal of course having already been moved over to Isla Nublar, that puts this Tyrannosaur from the Lost World at odds with at least 5 other dinosaurs. Now of course it's unlikely that those facial scars came from its mate, but the 4 remaining Rexes are all possible candidates. And even if we don't take a mating battle into account, there is also the real-world evidence that suggests that not only did T-Rex engage in intraspecific combat, but they were also well known to be cannibals, meaning this Rex could have gotten into confrontation with one of its siblings that ended badly for the other animal. But then of course, we have to take into account the actual look and placement of the scars in the buck Rex's muzzle as well. These wounds appear to be the result of several straight-cut lacerations that run down the side of the creature's mouth, and they don't really appear like they could have necessarily come from any biting on the dinosaur's face from another T-Rex if we look at the placement of these scars. And that's why for a long while, one of the most popular fan theories for how the male Rex got these wounds was from a battle with Jurassic Park 3's Spinosaurus, which of course had those long slashing arms that could have helped aid in delivering those Lost World scars. But now with new information on the Spinosaurus revealing that the animal wasn't even cloned until a full 2 years after the events of the second film, it's now clear that this can't be the case at all. So what did it? How did the Tyrannosaur get these scars, and what sort of conflict did it find itself in? Well, as of now, there's no definitive answer just yet, but one of the things that I personally think makes the most sense comes from the first Jurassic Park movie. And actually, to be more specific, later on we can see evidence of it in Jurassic World. If we pay close attention to the scarring in the 1993 Rex's neck, we can see that the original T-Rex has been given some really gnarly scarring after getting attacked by the first park's raptors. Now, these Velociraptors left some pretty straight-cut wounds running down the animal's neck that can still be seen over 20 years later when it was finally set free again in the fourth movie. And in my personal opinion, these scars from the Lost World look remarkably similar to what we see got delivered to the Rex in the first movie. So what I think may have happened during the male Rex's lifetime was that at one point, it could have come into conflict with some of the raptors on Site B. And from the position and placement of those scars, it probably had one of the animals either on its face or in its mouth, desperately trying to deliver some terrible wounds to the T-Rex before it got killed. Although after saying that, I want to make it clear that it doesn't necessarily mean that this is a case-closed answer at all. Because the Lost World in Jurassic Park 3 took place on an island where a wide variety of other carnivores lived and probably got into trouble with the Rexes over the course of those few years. These include animals like Dilophosaurus, Baryonyx, and Carnotaurus as well. There were also a few other carnivores on InGen's list, which means that they would at the very least have had to have cloned one of them in order to know what they had, like Allosaurus, Suchomimus, and others, but all of those dinosaurs were listed as not being active and alive on Isla Sorna by 1996. So it's even more unlikely one of them was responsible for the scarring in the second movie. Unless, of course, they lived for a brief period in time before meeting their ends at the teeth of this massive bull of an animal. So my final guess, personally, outside of it being another Tyrannosaur, is an unlucky raptor that tried its hardest to fight back, but probably got torn to pieces before everything was said and done. The fact that we have no definitive answer is one of the things that makes theorizing about these movies so cool in my opinion, especially the second film. Because you see, with the Lost World being considerably darker and taking itself far more serious than the first Jurassic Park, until you get to gymnastics, the film came with a pretty big overhaul to its dinosaur presentation, and adding those rough scars to the bull T-Rex's face made for an awesome looking creature that not only did things like rip a man in half, push an RV over a cliff, and tear through Santiago, but it also made for one really iconic piece of creature design that I think has become quite recognizable in all Jurassic media since then. But with all of that being said, those are all just my own thoughts on the subject matter. Now, what do all of you guys think? What was responsible for causing that scarring on the buck Tyrannosaur's face? And do you think we could ever get an answer for it in future Jurassic World material? Whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it really means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.